Let's take a breath, shall we? Breathe in. And let it go. Another deep breath in. Let go. One more time, deep breath. Let go. So, guess what? We're going to talk about gratitude. Hey, it makes sense, right? And, raise your hand if you are interested in knowing that there's something that you could do that could lessen your experience of pain and strengthen your immune system. Anybody interested in feeling more compassionate and being generally more happy? Okay, practice gratitude. 'Tis all you have to do. The biology, the neuroscience tells us that when we focus on gratitude, when we really not only just name the things that we're grateful for, but actually bring our mind and body into a state of feeling that gratitude, we can lessen our experience of pain. That continuous experience of turning our mind to gratitude, being grateful, feeling good about the things that are coming our way, guess what? You get a little shot of dopamine in your brain. We all love that one. And that actually has positive effects on all of your cells, on every system in your body, right? And that the contemplation of gratitude, looking to that which is working, looking to that which supports us, looking to that which makes us feel whole, happy, healthy, and all of that, leads to a greater sense of well-being. Over time, engaging in these practices supports us feeling better. Does anybody want to feel better? I think we do, right? And so, this month, our permaculture theme we've been exploring is this idea of catching and storing energy. And all month long, we're talking about the ways, the practices, the things that we can do to help us harness the energy that we need in order to live sustainable lives, but also to be powerful and effective people in the world, in our communities, to be uplifting and positive presences of possibility for those around us, right? And so we started off this month talking about self-care and how important it is for all of us to, in a sense, put ourselves first so that we have the regenerative energy, the rest and the recuperation that we need so that we can show up to all the things that we're passionate about, right? But it has to start with taking care of ourselves. Everybody got to watch me get sick last month and take some time off because I wasn't doing that. So I'm inviting you to do the thing so you don't have to get sick and take time off. Because if we preemptively take care of ourselves, we're healthier, we're stronger, we're able to continuously show up for what we're here for, right? Last week we talked about the idea that community is also one of those things that supports us. That no one of us can stand alone, that we cannot thrive by ourselves. Even though our American mythology has told us that we're supposed to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and do it all on our own and stand up all strong, that doesn't work. Right? We are community beings. Humans are mammals, we are pack animals, we are meant to be together. And it's when we're together, when we lean into each other, when we have the support of each other, that we can truly thrive. That we can truly heal, that we can truly find the vulnerability that's necessary to open our hearts, to see things differently, right? And so this week I want us to then kind of turn that attention back to ourselves and remember that there is an invitation here for us to cultivate gratitude every opportunity we get. Because it's plenty easy to have our minds pulled all over the place. If you pay attention to the news and to current events and things that are happening in the world, like I do, there's plenty of things to not feel grateful for. There's plenty of things that are saying, be angry, be afraid, be upset. And when I look at those things, what happens? Do I get a little shot of dopamine when I'm afraid? No. It goes the other direction. Right? And we know that when we're in fear, when we're in pain, when we're in shutdown, the brain does not have the ability to see outside of a particular moment. That when we're in fear, when we're in pain, that mind goes into fight or flight. We are stuck looking at what's right in front of us. But when we're able to cultivate a practice of looking at what is working, of looking at the possible, of looking at the things that we are truly grateful for, these kinds of practices open our mind. It's in that state of feeling better that we're able to see possibility, that we're able to see outside of a moment, that we're able to see that there might be another choice that we didn't see before. But we have to do the work to maintain our perspective, to maintain our mind, to maintain our awareness, so that we are people who are constantly choosing what we are looking at. Because what we know is that what we appreciate appreciates. What we look to, we see more of. What we look for, we will find. Right? And in the midst of a world that wants to pull our attention 1,000 different directions, we have to be the ones who choose what we're looking at. Right? And I don't need you to only look at nice, pretty, beautiful, wonderful things. There's a lot of stuff out there that needs your attention that you have to look at. There's a whole lot that we have to say, hey, that's not working. I don't like that. How can we fix that? We have to look at those things. And we have to move the balance of our mind so that there are more thoughts looking at what's working than what's not, right? We've all seen what the difference of balance of power is between 49 and 51, right? If we just have 51 votes for what we want, that's what moves everything in the direction of our choice, right? And so if we can just tip the balance of our minds, I'm not telling you it has to be 100% all the time, happy thoughts, gratitude, but could you make it 51% of the time? Right? Just tip the scales just a little bit, because the moment you tip from 50-50 or this too much on this side, once you tip the scales to that 51, guess what? It's all going to start to lean this way. And that's just a 1% shift, right? If we can just move the ball 1%, it's going to change the balance of everything, right? And so there's all kinds of stuff in our lives and in the world that's going to pull our attention, all of the 49% stuff. But we have to choose where we prioritize our attention, right? Because we can notice that the environment looks like it's collapsing, that thousands of species are dying off every day, but we can also focus on the fact that humanity is coming up with solutions to these issues. That we've been talking about permaculture all year long. We've been talking about learning to live sustainable lives. We can start looking around and see that even though it looks like our country might be moving in one direction, and there's been a lot of pushback to a lot of the things that we stand for, guess what? We can also look and see that Congress is becoming more diverse than it's ever been before. That we're electing women and people of color to positions that they've never been allowed to hold. That we are shifting directions. That even though there's pushback, even though there is things that we want to look at, that we say, that's not working, we can also look the other direction and say, wait a minute, but look what else is happening. Look at all the good that's bubbling up right next to all this bad that seems to be bubbling up. But if I feed this one more, guess what I'm going to get more of? This one, right? And so we have to choose, what are we doing with our attention? And gratitude is one of those things that maybe you could just set aside 5 minutes a day at the end of the day and just stop and think about, what are 3 things that you are truly grateful for that day in your life or in the world? And why are you grateful for those things? And then take a moment and actually allow yourself to feel that gratitude. Right? Because I talk to a lot of people who say, I do a gratitude practice. I make a list of 10 things every day that I'm grateful for. But do you stop and feel them? Or is it just a list? Does the practice become passive, or is it active? Are you actively engaged in cultivating gratitude, or is it something that's just become part of a process? Right? And if you're not doing it at all, here's an invitation to start. Right? Because we know that if we choose what we focus on, if we cultivate a mind that is looking for the good, we will begin to see it. And when we choose to engage a practice like that, and we do it every single day, over time, all spiritual practices, they change the wiring in our brain. They change the network. They change how things operate. And so it may be difficult to start, to say, you know what, the world is falling apart, I'm in pain, everything is terrible, and then to go to, and I'm so grateful. Right? So it might feel like a stretch in the beginning, but guess what? You have to stretch. You ever worked out, ever done yoga? Stretching is important. Right? We have to move to the edge of what's comfortable. We have to move to the edge of what we know. And that's going to take us engaging in some practices and really trying to cultivate this awareness for ourselves. And so maybe just start with some very simple gratitudes. Are you grateful for the privilege of living where you live? Are you grateful that there's not a war going on where you live? Are you grateful that there is food available to you every single day? You can start with the simple stuff and just pay attention to how much we truly have. You know, if you are sitting in this room, if you are living in Santa Cruz, you are among the most privileged people on the planet. Let's be grateful for that. Right? And then to take and acknowledge what we have and cultivate gratitude for what we have, and then figure out what we can do with it to support more and more good emerging in the world. We all have so much. And the least we can do is begin to just cultivate a sense of gratitude for what it is that we already have. And as we do that, we will start to see how much we do really have. And as we cultivate that awareness more and more and more, perhaps we might even start to see the absolute awe-inspiring beauty that surrounds us everywhere we go. You know, my friend Edika Luckett, when she was alive, she's a musician who has really deeply influenced the Science of Mind movement over the course of her life. She had a song, and one of the lines of that song was, "If you're not in awe, you are not paying attention." Because life is a miracle. The fact that your body is breathing itself without your attention is a miracle. There is something greater than we are that lives in each one of us. Could we just notice it? You know, in our opening song, we say, "Namaste, I bow to you." That simple line is about acknowledging that there is something more inside of the person you are looking at. That there is a greater presence, an infinite spirit, a possibility that is looking back at you through each other's eyes. And so we cultivate the awareness of looking for that presence in each other. And if we cultivate an awareness of looking for things to be grateful for, looking for that awe-inspiring beauty, looking to all that we have, and just saying thank you. You know, Meister Eckhart, one of the mystic from 500 or so years ago, said, if the only prayer you ever pray is thank you, that would be enough. Right? Can we just start with recognizing that gratitude is just a base practice? We call it a spiritual practice, but really it's just a basic human practice for health and well-being. That if we can just look to gratitude, the beautiful sunny day outside, this warm, welcoming community, the music, the inspiration, the connections. Just right here in this room, there is so much for us to be grateful for if we're willing to look to it. And I think that more than anything, what our world needs right now is people who are willing to look at each other and say thank you. People who are willing to look at what's unfolding in the world and see that there is good unfolding. It may not be everywhere we look, but I guarantee you, if you look for it, you'll find it. So take a deep breath in and let it go. Take another deep breath. Allow your eyes to gently close if that feels comfortable to you, and take another deep breath. And as we breathe into this moment, I just invite each of us into a time of contemplation. to first just notice that there is something greater than you are that is breathing your body and beating your heart. That there is a life force, that there is a love force inside of each one of us. And how beautiful it is to remember that in all of the great grandeur of this glorious infinite universe, there's only one thing happening. And that one thing is what I call God. But perhaps we just label it as consciousness or the life of the universe or energy. But I claim in this moment that there is one seamless presence that is living and breathing throughout the entirety of the universe. And it is this one who is unfolding in, through, and as everyone and everything all the time. In every situation, in every unfolding circumstance, in every life, this one is evolving and revealing itself. And so let us breathe that in and just remember in this moment that each one of us is truly blessed, that we have so much to be grateful for. And so let us be grateful for these miraculous bodies that allow us to play at the activity of life. Let us be grateful for all that each one of us has that allows us to live the lives and the lifestyles and the opportunities that we are able to. Let us be grateful for this beautiful community that supports each one of us. Let us be grateful for the collective evolution that is unfolding in the world around us. And so I just speak a word here and now this day that each one of us takes this opportunity and begins to claim more and more and more of what we are grateful for. Recognizing that when we look, for it, it's there, waiting for us, looking for us. And so let us just be in gratitude this morning for the opportunity to be in community with each other, to remind ourselves how much there truly is for us to be grateful for. And then open our hearts and minds, knowing that there could be even more for us to be grateful for. And so let us live in that continuous celebration and in the expectancy of the more showing up for us, as we seek greater possibilities, as we seek to build a world that works, as we seek to heal ourselves, to heal the land, to heal our nation. Let us begin with gratitude. And allow that love to wash over us in everything we do. And so for all of this and so much more, I just say yes. I say thank you. And so it is.